Good evening, everybody, and welcome to PSGL F6 round 2 Bahrain. Today, I am joined by Punju, without his face, but I have got this lovely image of
Yes.
him that side. But how are you doing, Punju, today?
Hi, everybody. I'm so good. How are you guys doing? How you doing, Chiz?
I'm doing great. Last week was a banging race, and I'm really looking forward to see what Bahrain can bring. I mean, we've seen in 2014 the Jewel of the Desert with Mercedes, Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton. What, are we going to get that today? I really hope so.
I feel like we probably will, and I feel like if there is one team that's going to deliver, just basing off last week, it's Alpine. Those guys, as you were telling me, and as I saw little bits of, they were going absolutely insane. They're good teammates for sure, but Lewis and Nico started off as great teammates too, but that quickly deteriorated, and so there's a chance that we start seeing a rivalry form within a team. And if there is one team to do that, I'm thinking it's Alpine.
That's very true. We definitely saw Alpine last week. The dark horse, maybe not as strong as Quali, but I think they were both in the top 10 and managed to secure P3 and 4 at the end of it. So a really strong performance. Despite all that, they are still not leading the Constructors' Championship. You'd think after a great performance like that, it'd be guaranteed. But no, Ruben and Matty really delivering last week. I think Ruben got P1 and Matty with P9, I think. So those
Yes,
guys
that
are
is
leading the
correct.
constructors by 1 point, and I cannot
Well,
remember for the life of me who's second. I think it's Aston
so,
Martin who are
so
joint
technically,
second.
they're not actually leading the constructors by 1 point. They're dead even.
Oh, oh, sorry.
Yes, they're exactly even, 18 and 18.
Oh wow, they've already got
Yes,
a little
I
bit of
know.
a fight.
Technically, actually, no. The championship leaders right now, team wise, is Aston Martin. They have 19.
Oh wow, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so Snakes with that P2 finish last week, is helping him and his teammate Zerky, who got the fastest lap as well. They have because of that fastest lap, they have 19 points. Without that fastest lap, it would have also been 18. It would have been a three-horse battle, all with 18 points going into this race for three teams, all identical. But no, Aston Martin is pulling out ahead. Imagine we're saying Aston Martin up in the front of a championship.
That is amazing. Talking of Aston Martin, with Sebastian Vettel retiring this weekend, the Aston Martin driver. I hope he's back in 2026 for sure. But Seb in Bahrain, he's been semi-successful. If you call having the most wins in the circuit semi-successful, joint with Lewis Hamilton. They both have 5 wins, which is quite a lot
Yeah.
for sure.
Sebastian
Oh,
has
sorry,
five. I thought they only had
not
four.
most wins. Sorry, yes, they both have most poles, which is 3 poles.
Yes.
My apologies.
Yes.
He also has his only ever did not start, which was in 2016 when the engine failed on the formation lap. Kind of a DNS, but in 2022 he missed the race because of COVID. So that really sucked for him. But it was the first race he missed since the 2007 European Grand Prix. So not very good for him.
Hmm.
But during that race, what we can talk about is he was replaced by Nico Hulkenberg, who qualified P17, who actually beat Stroll, who qualified P19, and an absolute tractor of a car. And then Hulk went on to
Hey,
finish P17.
speaking of Nico, yeah,
Yeah,
he's a hot topic right now because of yesterday. He
exactly,
was
exactly.
announced to be joining Haas.
Yeah, I mean, finishing P17, obviously he didn't have much experience, but he still did a very good job considering he hadn't actually driven there. But yeah, replacing Schumacher. And I thought of this today. Did you know this is the second time? Well, okay, if we go back to yesterday, imagine that announcement hasn't happened yet. This is the second time Nico Hulkenberg has been rumoured to replace a Schumacher. I don't know if you knew this, but if Lewis Hamilton hadn't have signed for Mercedes in 2013, Nico Hulkenberg would have. So
Wow,
nearly replaced a Schumacher then as well.
that's
I,
funny. Huh, I didn't
I
know
do
that.
really like Nico Hulkenberg. I think he really deserves a seat. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he can bring next year.
Well, let's hope he proves his mettle. Well, hey, now it's time for us to talk a little bit about PSGL and specifically our sponsors. Thank you so much to GT Omega being such an amazing sponsor for us and helping us out here at PSGL. We got to give them lots of love. Obviously, you guys saw that intro. See, remember to use our code to get 5% off at checkout. Chiz, with this race today, what are you expecting to see? Are you expecting to see another dramatic finish between some drivers colliding on the last lap like last week? Or are we expecting a little bit more of a calm race?
I mean, I have to go back to 2013. I mean, that race, 2014 even, that race was chaotic. I'm hoping we see that
Hmm.
again today. We should probably have a look at the track before we go into the lobby, which I've realised I haven't done yet. Bahrain is a 5.4 kilometer circuit with 15 corners. This one of the circuits where you have to trail brake at literally every corner. So it's a very
Yes.
difficult one to get right, especially turn 10. That's one to look at. 3 DRS zones. Um, Lap record is Michael Schumacher, who did 1 minute 30.252. But
Quick lap.
yeah, quick lap. But
We're
yeah,
not gonna
it's
be,
a track with a
we're not
lot
gonna be
of.
seeing any notes today.
It is a track with a lot of corners. Well, it's a very cornery circuit, even though it doesn't have that many, just because it's quite short.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a circuit which I was saying it's in the desert, so obviously it's a higher temperatures. You've got the higher track
Yep.
temperatures, which I mean,
Which
higher
which
grip,
well,
overheating.
yeah, it'll also constitute to higher track degradation. And one
Yeah,
thing that's very interesting about this track is the elevation change is so slight that it's hard to actually notice when it's happening. It really only happens in, the second straightaway between turns 3 and turn 4, as well as turns 13 through turns 14. And it's backwards. Turns 3 to 4, you're going uphill. Turn 13 to 14, you're going downhill. But it's so slight that you can't really tell. So most of
yeah.
these corners aren't going to be hampered by elevation change. Kind of the 5, 6, 7 cornering section is a little bit, but not so much to the point that it's going to cause much of a trouble for these drivers to be getting downforce properly. Which I think is one of the most interesting things about this track is
I mean,
basically every single corner is almost level.
I think we'll definitely see that today. I mean, obviously you have, I think very slightly noticeable, as you said, 3 and 4 there. We've just seen Rish go through there. Apologies, I completely forgot again. I have a V8 engine mod on that at the moment, so although engine sounds are going to be V8. Again, for the second week in a row. Hopefully.
V8 engine mod, huh?
I had that last week as well. Whoops.
That's funny.
I need to make sure to turn that off for next week as well. Goodness me. But that doesn't matter at the moment. We are getting into it. You can see a little elevation change every so often. But yeah, turn 10, as I was talking about, didn't want to look up. Obviously, these guys aren't going to be pushing, so it's not too much of an issue at the moment. But we'll follow on Rish, as he is the first one to go out. Rish last week did not score points. Was kind of sitting in the back half of the race for all of it, for most of it even. But first impressions do not mean anything. Don't judge a book by its front cover. Rish could very much still even be in the championship fight, so we'll see what he has to bring.
Speaking of Rishes, I think people with the name Rish in and of itself have good luck here in F6, so I'm definitely not going to count him out at all.
Yeah, Rishan last season dominated, but we'll see what he does now, starting his lap. DRS wide open, heading towards the braking zone at time 1. Just after the 100-meter board is the optimal time to brake to get the car slow down and get the car turned in. You can see there, full of confidence, going a little slightly missing the apex there, heading up the hill into the first DRS zone. The wing once again wide open into turn 4 now. Very much later braking zone, nearer to the 50-meter board there. Getting the car turned in very nicely. Into this S section now, we've got to be careful. The curbs, they're bumpy. You don't want to offset the car too much because otherwise you're going to send it into a spin. And braking for the hairpin because a little bit wide of the apex zone. I need a little bit of a lockup. Heading towards turn 10 now, probably the trickiest on the calendar. We'll see how he copes with this one very well, actually. I don't think he locked up at all.
I love that line. That is a nice late apex that allows so much more speed on the exit. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling that all the way through this straight now. Heading into turn 11, up this hill, a little bit of elevation change. I'm going to keep talking about these now. Opening up the corner really nicely into turn 12, heading into turn 13 now. Cutting the curve slightly, widening the track as much as you can on the exit. Heading into the last corner now. We'll see what he does. You've got to be really careful in this last corner not to go over the curb because it will cost you a tenth, 2 tenths, so much time that you cannot afford. Coming across the line now, he's going to open the DRS wide open. And it's going to be a 28.9.
Not too
for
bad.
For a bit of reference, the real life pole lap, probably the worst thing for reference, was a 130.558. So he's already beaten that. Zerky meanwhile has gone. Oh, Zerky and Ruben setting the exact same lap time of a 28.092. The PSGL F2 lap yesterday was a 1.27.105 by Iker Boehner. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And the
Wait,
esports
is it
qual
120? It was a 127 what?
127.105.
Oh my
So
gosh.
very quick. Augustin Tolashi hoping to get closer with a 27.8 at the moment. Sorry, I should probably be looking at these stats.
Wow.
About to finish his lap. See what he does. P8 with a 29.2. I'm sure it was just a warm-up lap. Definitely improve on that.
What are we thinking then today for pole for F6? I mean, if
I'm gonna
F1
go
got a 27.1,
27.4.
you thinking of 27.4? I'm thinking of 27.5. You have a little more faith. Right now, our best is a 27.9. You said, or 27.8?
27.8. Yeah.
27.8.
And the esports pole lap is a 26.7. That was by Lucas Blakely in the McLaren, which is McLaren is in the lead at the moment. But yeah, I don't expect anyone to get near esports base. If so, that'd be a miracle.
That's incredible, and that's honestly one thing to like really point out, and just so impressive, the difference between an esports driver and F6. I mean, it's not like F6 are any slouches. These guys are some of the best in the literal world.
Yes, very true.
But it shows just how quick those esports guys are and able to extract every last little bit out of that car. It's mind-boggling.
Exactly. Snakes coming through to finish his first lap now. P2 last week, pole last week, only goes P10, but at the moment equaling the time of Tom Atzos with the 28.706. So we already have 2 sets of identical times. That is crazy. Crazy how close these guys are.
That just means good racing.
Of course. Mike's coming across the line now. He goes P8 with a 28.4, pushes Snakes down to P11. Just a couple more finishing that lap. Oh no, everyone is finished a lap. I don't think anyone's on a lap at the moment. E2 will follow along with him, sitting 10th in the driver standings right now. He is on.
So with 18 drivers, here today, 2 less than usual, do you think that's going to cause for a significantly lower amount of carnage throughout the race, or do you think we're still going to have, a lot of big passing and stuff?
I don't think 2 cars is going to make any much of a difference. I still believe in these guys. These guys are going to fight like mad because it's still early on the season. They want to get as much as they can. I mean, you could also argue that they want to take it safe, but I think these guys are all hungry for points.
As they should be. I mean, yeah, there's some value in taking it safe, but if you're setting your mark down early on in a season, everybody's going to know, oh, hey, watch out for this guy. That mental advantage will pay dividends for races and races to come. So I think it's definitely within everyone's best interest that are driving right now to be going as hard as they possibly can these early races.
Exactly. We will just have a look at the driver standings, actually, talking about that. Ruben currently leading the standings. Obviously, it's only been 1 race, so those are just the race results from last week, pretty much. Yeah, Ruben leading from Snakes, Silvera, Luca, Zerky, Kilden, Mike's, Augustin, Matty, and E2. And yeah, constructors, Aston Martin leading from Red Bull and Alpine, very close at the top there. And then quite a gap, actually, then to AlphaTauri, but I'm sure we'll see that gap close as the season goes on.
I do want to point out, notice how so many of these teams have driver pairings that are right next to each other in their standings. We got Alpine, AlphaTauri, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and Haas. All of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of them are just because it's 0 points, but still.
Yeah, exactly. Those watching at home might not know this, but in PSGL, the teams that you're in is literally just you pick and choose what you want to be in. You say, oh, I want to be in the McLaren, for example, and then if that's not taken, you can get put in the McLaren. So I mean, the chances of that, especially the Alpines last week, they were so equal.
That was
today
gorgeous. Yeah,
split by 4/10 so far, but yeah, it's quite of an amazing coincidence. Augustin is about to finish his second lap, coming around the final corner now. Oh no, sorry, that was the second out lap. Starting his lap now. So, Punchy, do you want to talk us through this lap?
Yeah, let's watch Augustin go crank his way down into turn 1. Now, obviously, as Chiz mentions, everybody has their DRS flap wide open. Augustin has a lot of work to do today because he's the only McLaren driver on the grid. So he is one of 2 people to be missing their teammates. So he's got a lot of work to do. I'm sure he can improve on that time. I mean, him already sitting in the 27s is definitely amazing, but he wants to get in those low 27s, maybe even challenge those esports times, right? So Augustin, I'm thinking he's going to go for at least 2 to 3 tenths worth of improvement here on this second lap. He looks great through that turns 5, 6, and 7 section, going deep into the hairpin for turn 8. This is also a tough corner. A lot of people underrate how difficult it is to get the power down. As you see right there, he gets a little bit of a wiggle. It's all about the power down when you're coming out of turn 8. Turn 10 looks really, really good. Takes that late apex line so he can get a little bit on the curb on the exit, but he can't be too much on it because it's slippery.
Yeah,
Very slippery.
Getting oversteer there. I think he's suffering from a little
Yeah.
tire overheating.
Yeah, he's had a couple little spots of oversteer. Is that an invalid lap right there?
Nope,
Not quite.
Still valid. Very close.
Just barely. Yeah, it's very, very, very close.
Talking of those corners,
he's going to be...
a few... Sorry to interrupt, but there's a few corners.
You're good.
8 tenths down. That's not going to be what he wants. He might back off from
Nope.
this. But, yeah, a few places where track limits are easily violated and you won't get a warning is turns 4, 10, 13, 14, and 15. So be on the lookout if you're...
Yes, in my opinion, especially that turn 10, like, you can really abuse the track limits and get away with it. More so during the race than qualifying, because during the race, I feel like it's a little bit more lenient than qualifying. It's just kind of what I've noticed.
Yeah.
If you're in race, you will see a lot of people in turn 10 going wide. Very wide on the exit.
That's true. The tyres are cold, it's easy to lock. Ruben setting his second lap time at 27.9, not quite able to challenge for pole position at the moment. I will try and look at these guys across the line. Luca Monaco, P3 last weekend. Can he challenge the top times? No, he can't. Staying with a 28 flat, but he did improve by 400, so that is something.
Yeah, that's positive. That's positive momentum. You know, he still has another chance or two to set some laps, so he's still got time.
Yep. Rishrath coming across the line to set his second lap time. Is he going to move up? He does. He moves up to P9 with a 28.5.
Here we go.
His teammate currently 4 tenths up. Going to move up a little bit. He needs to try and gain as much as he can. He goes P13 with a 28.7. Victor Wilder heels at the front at the moment. Although I don't think this lap is going to be one challenging for those top positions as he boxes. Matty in the Red Bull, setting a purple middle sector, looking really strong there, both of the Red Bulls. Matty, what can he do in this final corner? He's got lots of time to lose and needs to try and gain a lot as well, so we'll see what he does now coming around the final corner. Opening the DRS. Gorgeous. Yeah, lovely line through there, no oversteer. Power down, he goes P3 with a 28.0. Talk about close teammates, I would say 600ths of a second is quite close.
Wow. Look at that. I love seeing that. The Red Bull guys coming out to play it. Look at that.
Snakes goes pole position with a 27.7. Silver Arrow not able to improve, I don't think. Apologies, I didn't see that exactly. Mike's is in the final sector. He's currently 3 tenths up, so this is a mighty lap so far for him compared to his personal best. What's up, Richie in the chat? We are calling us legends. What a nice guy. Good luck with F3 today, Richie. Be sure to watch that as well, after F6, obviously. Mike goes P4 with a 28 flat. Very strong lap from him there. That's exactly what he wanted to set him up for his final run. That last sector must have been amazing. It was purple, and I think it was half a tenth down before that, so... Yeah, mighty from him. Killed in a last lap collision, last race, costing him a podium. About to start his lap, so we'll follow along, going into the first corner now. Or down the main straight even, into the first corner. Heavy braking, important to get the car in, and we'll run on board for this lap. You can really critique his lines as he goes on. Really using as much track as you can there. You can see using the curbs. Initially did finish P3 last race, but then lost it due to penalties. So yeah, he's going to want to build from that. Short shifting all the way to 5th into 6th. Getting the car rotated very nicely there through the S section into the hairpin. It's Punji. So a tricky corner to get right. He's drifting it around the corner. I think he's lost all of his time now. I don't know if he's going to continue.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think he's turned the overtake off, so he might be saving up to go again. But he's not got long left, so I think if I were him, I'd box. No, he's still...
Well, let's check, because he's about to go through a sector marker, so let's see where he's at.
That's true. Watching the spectator isn't always accurate. We'll see his delta coming up through turn 12. We can see how much he's improved or not improved. He's still... Okay, fair enough. Purple middle sector, half a tenth up. Never underestimate a driver.
Wow.
He is a second off the pace as it is, so he needs to gain a little bit more than half a tenth. So I think he might still box in all honesty. But yeah, purple middle sector, he does look quick, but I don't think he wants to waste time. And he validates anyway. So he will be into the pits.
I think if he didn't invalidate right there, he was actually going to go ahead and cross the line.
Yeah, it did look
He
like it.
he was posturing for it, yeah. So at least he caught the invalidation
Yeah.
just in time, and he could get hop in the pits. But
Augustin,
oof,
P2 right now is on a lap. Is he going to improve? No, he's not, because he's going to pit. Never mind.
thoroughly anticlimactic.
P2 also boxing.
So basically, everybody in the pits.
Yeah, apart from Nitsan Ohana.
Yep.
In the Mercedes, who's currently 10th up. So, big up.
Getting a little bit of a break. I think they're all taking their pits that way they can just make sure they've got fresh tires on, get some fresh boots, and go out there for one more attempt.
Exactly.
And that last attempt, they all got to make the most of it.
That Mercedes is such a nice car. I really do love
It
that
is,
livery. Maybe I'm just fanboying. I don't know. Matty is also
Yeah, I
riding the
think so.
Red Bull.
I'm hearing British bias over here.
I mean, we can talk
Does
about,
look good.
We can talk
Honestly,
about
I can't even lie.
Some British Mercedes driver who did very well, who in his first rap for Mercedes was at this track, didn't do quite so well. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Nitsan Ohana coming through the final couple of corners on the penultimate straight now.
Yeah, he's making the most of that empty British gravel. Fun fact: the asphalt that makes up the Bahrain Grand Prix was actually all imported from Britain.
Wow, I did not know that. He goes P13 with a 28.6.
Not too bad.
Is he going to be disappointed? I don't think so. I think he's just going to be happy that, he's got a competitive lap time. I don't know if he's going to have time for another one though, so he might just have to take that one. As he nearly impedes a Ferrari, but I think he did, and I think that Ferrari's on an out lap anyway.
Yeah, I think the only person right now in qualifying that I can see that is going to be genuinely disappointed with where they're at right now is Killed. I mean, from how he finished last week compared to starting in P16 right now, like that's just not good enough for him. Yeah. If he's not in the top 5, I think he's going to be pretty upset. So let's hope that it doesn't affect his mental too much and he can turn that P16 into a top 5 here in qualifying. But if he can't, then he's going to have it all to do during the race.
Exactly. Matty in the Red Bull now, hoping to try and challenge for pole position. He needs to gain about 0.3 of a second, so he's got a mighty job ahead of him. But we'll see what he does now. Into second gear for turn 1, short shifting to 4th. Didn't even use third there. Wow, third gear's going to be feeling kind of neglected. I'm sorry. Into the DRS straight. Into turn 4 now. Lighter braking into third gear. Again, short shifting 4th is what you're going to see with these drivers. Short shifting to 4th. 5th, just trying to get the power down. Does go purple in the first sector. He's looking mighty. He's already half a tenth up. A quarter of a tenth even. Into the hairpin now. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. He's also got traffic ahead of him. So let's hope that that doesn't get in the way. But I have a feeling it might. But we'll see. Locking up the rear.
That traffic's far enough ahead.
There. I hope so. What you see about these drivers compared to a lot of the E-Tools, these guys use a lot lower gears. But I suppose that's...
Part of it is because the esports build, and part of it is because of the fact that they're getting a lot of rotation from their car just from dropping gears.
Purple in the
I think that's where they're looking. Wow.
Sorry to interrupt you, but he is a 10th up. Oh my goodness, that's a voice crack. All he's going to do is keep it clean, try and gain another 10th, and he could be looking at pole position, but he's already had 2 purple sectors, so he's clearly doing well. He doesn't want to mess this up, he slightly misses the apex, but I don't think that's going to cost him too much. Gets a good exit. We'll see what he does now. Comes across the line. What's it going to be? Does he get P1? No, he doesn't. He only goes P3. I think he's going to be mega disappointed with that.
Oof.
I'm not sure if that was a mistake, but wow, I don't think.
Yeah, that turn 14, I think, is what did him in. If he would have been able to cut over that corner just a little bit, just barely kiss the apex, I think he may have had it.
Yeah, Zerky coming across the line out. Zerky, rumored to be one of the quicker ones, according to one of my friends. Khan coming across the line now. We'll see what he does. He goes P2. It's currently Aston Martin 1 and 2 by 0.008 of a second, missing out of position there.
And you wonder why they're leading the Constructors' Championship.
You wonder why. It's amazing how close they are. It really is. Rush, I think, goes P11. Can't do any more than that. Also, Robbie Van, Nitz, and both Mercedes goes across the line P10 and 14. Another Aston Martin of Snakes now coming across the line. He's invalidated. He's not going to get a chance to improve that pole position time. Victor Wilder,
now he's just crossing his fingers and hoping.
He's got to. Victor Wilder is a 10th up. He does move up to P8 with a slight improvement of 19.
What about Killed?
That did.
What about Killed?
Make up time. Oh, there you go. Killed. Half a second up. That's mighty so far, but I don't
That's
think
what I'm
it's gonna
talking
be
about.
enough. Gonna cross the line now. Where's it gonna be? P9, 28.1.
Ooh, he's not gonna be stoked about that.
Not able to get pole position. Matty's invalidated as well. As Mike's got pole position.
There it is.
27.5. I was not expecting that. We talked about how he was quick earlier. Not going to be able to match this week. Luca Lamonaco going P4. Sorry, I'm not looking at him. I'm just trying to find him, in all honesty.
Wow. Mike's. It's a good laugh from him.
That is. Who else is on the lap? Zerky is not. That is going to be your pole. Your qualifying order.
Yeah, that's it. Mike's. Wow, GG's to him. Mike's, then Snakes, then Zerky, then Lucas DeMonico. Wow, that's a good front two rows. That is going to be fun, man. Aston Martin sitting in second and third. Ooh, that's really good for their Constructor Championship. But do keep in mind, at the end of the day here in PSGL, what really matters is your Driver Championship. So, we can talk about Constructors Championships all we want. All these drivers each care about is just themselves and their own. And so they're just trying to get up to the front of the grid regardless of their team. So let's see if that's going to result in Snakes and Zerky having a little bit of on-track tussles.
We'll see straight after the break. So we'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back after that short break. We'll be heading into the race into just a second. There is your qualifying order. That should be your qualifying order. Qualifying order.
Maybe.
Why is it not working?
Go ahead and hide it, and then
That's not good. Why is it not?
maybe click on the application.
Yeah, not working. That's not good. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Interesting.
Okay, sorry. There you go. Yeah, your qualifying order is Mike's on pole, followed by Snakes with another really strong qualifying. The Aston Martin, his teammate, is P3 with Zerky, followed by Luca. Luca finished P3 last race, looking to score some more points in that Alpine. Augustin P5 in the McLaren. Ruben P6, Matty P7, Silver Arrow, the other Alpine, P8, Killed 9, and Lapalainen, E2 Lapalainen in P10. Getting underway in
Thank you.
just a few moments.
Yes, we'll be getting that in just a bit. Now, we do have formation laps on again, correct?
Oh, do we? Oh, I was not.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They could still be off. I know in the world of F1 esports, it's just 50-50 whether or not the formation laps are on or off these days. But if they're off, then that means we're almost about to get racing. If they're on, then we're gonna have a little formation lap to stop us. Cheers. Let's count off the lights.
We'll see. It is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out in Bahrain. Here we go. Mike's getting a good start. Both the Aston Martins straight behind them, trying to get a good start as well. I think it's Luca there getting a good start, getting alongside the Aston Martin, the McLaren of Augustin. Also in that battle, they're going 4 wide almost into turn 1. But it's going to be Snakes down the inside of Mike's, trying to get the lead. Mike's keeping it for now. Snakes trying to get the switch back, but he's going to have the slipstream all the way through this first straight. We're going to see what he can do. Not going to be quite close enough yet, but there's still battles going on all in the background. None of them happening too much at the moment. There is green flags. Matty Red Bull all the way down in 18th. Not sure what happened to him off the start, but not looking too good at the moment. There's a few battles in the midfield. Thomas looking, just getting ahead of the Alfa Romeo, and the Ferrari there does seem to have died down a little bit for the moment.
Take a look at Killed. He's already up into P7. He made 2 positions off of that start. I'm not sure if that was on the start-finish line itself or if that was going into turn
he does
1,
make contact with a Red Bull
start for him.
going into turn 10. Talking about Killed and Ruben. Killed caused a little bit of an incident last week. I think he's probably a little bit too late there. The Mercedes of Robbie is trying to get past Killed now. Killed offset by there, but they do make a little bit of contact going to turn 12. Robbie on those mediums trying to get past going into turn 12 and 13 now. He's got the position. Killed getting a great sign. He's already under pressure from E2. E2, oh, as he goes wide. E2 did get the position going wide, but Killed started P9, is now P8, nearly getting overtaken for P9 again. We'll look up ahead because Mike's is back into the lead and already has a 1 second gap.
Whoa.
Sorry,
what
I missed
happened
that.
with Snakes? He must have had a little bit of a moment.
I assume they just had a battle when he was offset. Oh, we should look at the tyres though, because if you see that, he is on the mediums, I believe. Yeah, and everyone else, apart from Robbie, is on the hards.
Interesting. So why do you think Snakes and Robbie decided to opt for the mediums?
I mean, it's an alternate strategy. So way to get ahead. I do see some contact in the background there. I think that's Noah as they went 3 wide into turn 1. Sorry, I missed that. But
Look at these guys, they're
yellow
fighting.
flags. Emin is spun around on the curb. I think safety cars are on. Obviously, just no need for one.
Yep.
If it's a car stopped on the track.
No VSC either, so there wasn't enough debris.
Yep. We'll look at qualifying. We'll compare a few guys. Oh no.
I always like looking at the position changes. This is one of my favorites to look at.
There we go. Robbie Van making up 6 positions in the Mercedes, so not the best quality. But he's doing well. It says McLaren of Augustin getting overtaken there. Sorry, just on the minimap. A little bit behind. Being overtaken by the Aston Martin of Luca. Luca, one of those.
And look at the pressure.
Really strong. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
About Luca going a little bit wide there. Luca not had the best of starts, but not the worst because he's stayed in position. The top 6 all in the same position. The only really notable thing is Mattia losing 10. Augustin looking to maybe be under pressure from Ruben in just a second. Also, up ahead, Mike's on those mediums already got a gap of 1.8, and then the 2 Aston Martins are right next to each other, right behind them, as Mike sets the fastest lap. As expected, as he's got clean air, and he's flying away. This is looking really good for him, as DRS is now enabled. We will have it going into turn 4, so we'll have a look at Augustin, because he's going to want to get past Luca with the DRS enabled now, so we'll see what we can do. Same with Zerky. We'll see if he is able to challenge his teammate, but I think he's just going to sit behind for now.
We're looking like it looks like the race snake is starting to form. Everybody kind of lining up in a grid or in a row with each other and just taking slipstreams and starting to kind of calm down. Obviously, there's still going to be battles here and there, but not as much as the first 2 laps. It's starting to calm out now.
Yep. Yeah, just going to die down a little bit. Obviously, if you're in these points positions, you don't want to waste it. But it's not the end of the world if you do, because Checo Perez won after being last after the first lap. He's the only driver in F1 ever to do so, to win after being last in the end of the first lap. Jenson Button kind of did that in 2011 Canada, but obviously it wasn't at the first lap, so it doesn't count. But yeah, that was a very memorable Grand Prix. That was the one, as we talked about earlier, with George Russell. His first race for Mercedes was going brilliantly, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't, and then it just ended up not.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's a good way of describing it too. And then it was, and then it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't. That's very accurate.
Mike's, I don't know what nationality is, but there is a fairly good chance he's German, since a German driver has been on pole 7 out of the 18 races since the inaugural one in 2004. So yeah, clearly.
That's a brave conjecture, but I love that. Really making a good. Oh, look at the Alpine. He's making a mistake. That McLaren now has a really good chance.
The McLaren.
What will Augustin do?
Bahrain. Did you know McLaren has never won at Bahrain, but he does get the position, getting a step closer to winning in P4 now. My fun facts interrupting all the action.
I actually did know that one about the McLaren. That's a very good one. Obviously, Augustin's trying to change that for McLaren, at least here in the esports world. But McLaren has already won the esports here at Bahrain before.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about 2020 with George Russell in in Formula 1. 2020, Sakir. Obviously, Bahrain had 2 races due to COVID, and the other one, obviously, Romain Grosjean had his very unfortunate accident, which it genuinely amazes me. It really does. His bravery to I don't know if you've heard the story. I mean, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I've
so I
heard
see
it
a lot of
all.
people have, but what he said was like about the fact that he kind of accepted it and then thought of his kids and thought no, and then managed to find a way out. Yeah, it's such an amazing thing. It really is.
Yeah, it's another level. It's a beautiful story. Well, hey, we're looking for more beautiful stories here in PSGL too. And right now, who do we have up in front? Sorry, I'm losing a lot of the resolution. Is that still Mike's up at the front?
Mike's up at the front, followed by Snakes with a 3-second gap already. Just
Wow.
maybe just like exit and rejoin the stream if it does go buggy. That normally helps.
Yes, that's a good point.
I'm trying to. I wrote a bunch of stuff down about 2020 and I can't find it on my page. This is oh no.
Down the grid, I want to take a look at P1 Killed. I mean, obviously, he's sitting in 10th place right now. He qualified in 9th. He's not super stoked about how this race has gone. But remember last week, he did so much better. I'm hoping that Killed can go and improve and get himself up into a much higher point scoring position. But right now, it's looking like Mike's is making that alternate strategy work really well from it. The 3.5-second gap, not enough to make it, like a guaranteed, hey, I'll be up in front by the time our strategies all play out. But it's enough to say that this is working out well for him. If he can continue to get about a half a second to a second per lap of advantage, A, that just means he's in and of itself significantly faster than Snakes, but B, it means he's really making those tire advantage work for him, and he's just hoping to just have, a clean race, no safety cars from anybody, and run his strategy out. These guys in the hards, they honestly have a little bit more options as the safety cars go down, because they're not going to, if they were to make a tire compound change, no matter what, they're going to switch onto the mediums. I mean, or the softs from now on. They're not. Yeah. There's no need for them to get another pair of hards.
The only thing
for someone like Mike's, he might need another medium at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the tire strategy, such a big part, obviously within the tire allocation update as well. It's interesting to see what those guys are doing. I found my notes. 2020. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton ended up winning the race with Romain Grosjean's unfortunate crash. Did you know he's the most successful driver in Bahrain with 5 wins? Which is
yes, I did know
a lot. It is a lot. One of the greats, obviously, Lewis Hamilton. Talking about one of the Mercedes doing successful here, Robbie Van, as we said, 6 positions gained from the first lap, so he's doing well. He's sat there in the DRS train. But yeah, cars
big train.
Amazing. Thank you. Definitely on purpose. Ryan says Snakes for the W. I mean, after
thanks Snakes with the W.
After last week, he's clearly looking really strong there. He's gonna not want to get another P2. I'm sure we'll have a safety car at some point.
You think so?
Is the race like really famous for having like a safety car at almost every single one, or something like that? I can't remember.
It does have a lot of safety cars. It definitely does bring them out. I think most of the reason why the safety cars happen in real life is because there's not a lot of places for the cars to go.
That's true.
And when they do fail, they seem to fail pretty tremendously here. Now, when it comes to an esports race, an online race, I'm not exactly sure if that's what we're going to be looking for, if we're actually going to get a safety car. It looks like there aren't enough people battling to really cause a forced error or a big collision. Now, an unforced error that do happen, and the most common place for unforced errors is turn 12.
I'm just thinking because, well, if Mike's is on those mediums, he's building up quite a gap and he's extending it. Are we gonna possibly, are we gonna see Snakes being able to combat that? Because I mean, obviously he's still got the second stint, but that's still quite an advantage needed to make up. I'm just gonna turn the audio up because it's a little bit quiet. Yeah, if someone could let me know in the chat if the audio is all good now, or at least not all good now, but like if it's better. But yeah, Zerky sat behind his teammate, almost in the DRS behind him, Augustin, but not quite there at the moment. But not the end of the world. Still got a lot of time to go in this race.
This Aston Martin team is feeling so good about their team position. Holy smokes. They are by far the best team. Obviously Mike's, his teammates, not anywhere to be seen, actually. He's very far away. That's P1 Killed, who's so far back all the way in 10th place.
Funny,
they are,
almost an exact opposite from last week. Killed was at the front, and actually not so much.
That's so funny. Well, hey, they are making an Aston Martin, McLaren, Alpine, Williams. something else I can't tell Silver Arrow Robbie sandwich. So
Very
making
true,
a tasty,
very true. The best part
they're making a
about
tasty
F1
sandwich.
racing. Augustin, Herb in the final sector there, I think he's using a lot of ERS to get into DRS because he is in the DRS now, which is going to help him challenge for the podium. Zerky already flashing less than 10% this early on in the race. Not managing that very well. Possibly.
Well, you say that, but look at Augustin. He's only got 20%.
That's true. That's true.
I think this track just inherently eats your energy, and it's pretty hard to get it back unless you're going into the pits. So once you've used it, it's gone. And it's very similar to IndyCar, how you only get 10 overtakes. It's one of those tracks where, like I said, once you use it, it's gone. So these guys do need to be pretty careful about getting some of it back. Since it's not wet conditions, they're not going to be riding their brakes and generating a lot more heat like you would in a wet condition to get that energy back as well. So
I mean, you also got to think it's a very wet. It's a track that has a lot of trail braking.
Yes.
So that means you're not really on the brakes as much, so less energy is recovered. So yeah, it is difficult to gain back here for sure. But
yeah, the trail braking point is actually a really good point.
Yeah, thank you.
Augustin, what were you saying about Augustin?
He's on the pace. He's in the DRS, and he's actually got over 1 second gap behind him. So Luca might need to switch on the ERS button, but he's already used almost all of it as well. I think he's going to be fine. Oh, is he? Ooh, this is going to be very close by mere thousandths of a second. I'm actually quite amazed as he got DRS or not, because I think that was over 1 second, but
he does not. Nope. No DRS.
That might cost him. That might cost him later on.
So Augustin, the only one who has a chance of really challenging up with Zerky, Zerky is also pretty still close to his teammate. So it's really just a 3-horse battle for second place right now. That's the most important battle on the track, obviously with Mike's just destroying everybody on those medium tires and setting such a huge gap out front. He is cruising for a bruising, just trying to get those mediums. I'm guessing till right around a lap 17 is my guess.
Yep.
If he can really stretch him.
Forgot to take a note of the strategy. But that's fine. Yeah, we'll see.
But if he's not trying to stretch, he can get him to like lap 13, throw on the hards, and finish it off pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think it's time for some more fun facts. In all honesty. Did you know?
I've got one.
Has had 8 podiums here and has never won.
Wow.
Quite unfortunate, in all honesty.
Poor guy. And never will win. Big rip.
That's actually a very good point. Although I still believe the return's gonna come.
Wow, in his late 40s, Kimi Räikkönen comes back. He'll be like Fernando, just never stops racing.
I'd love that.
Well, hey, I actually have a fun fact. Did you know that F1 has raced on 3 different layouts here? Not just the 2 that you can think of.
Didn't know
the
that.
normal Grand Prix and the security. Yeah, the 3rd layout was only raced 1 year in 2010. Next fastest lap right there. It was only raced 1 time in 2010 to celebrate the Centurion. It was to celebrate some event for F1. Like, wow, this is a big race. But all the drivers hated the layout. Like, they absolutely hated
Augustin going very wide there into turn 1.
Ooh.
That might... Oh, alright, it's not really putting under any pressure.
Almost let Luca come up there.
Almost. Luca is within a second at the moment.
But yeah, all the drivers absolutely hated that layout. It was the endurance layout, and so they decided to scrap it forever, and it's never been touched since. You probably have, yeah, because Bahrain is the home of the WEC season finale every single year, the 8 hours of Bahrain, which just happened last weekend, by the way. So yes, it is a very, very commonly used track for every single kind of car and sports bikes.
Yeah, I mean, look at the gap ahead already, 6 seconds.
Wow.
I do have actually some more notable moments. Did you know in 2006, after a suspension failure in qualifying, Kimi Räikkönen started 22nd on the grid, which was last, and ended up having an amazing race. Ferrari nailed the strategy, which sounds crazy to say in modern times, and managed to finish in 3rd. So starting at the bottom is not too much of an issue. But yeah, there's a lot of famous things right here. We can talk more about Ferrari. They had their 7th win in Bahrain in 2022, which was obviously a 1-2. They actually have and talking about Ferrari, they also had the most wins in Bahrain since 2004. And Fernando Alonso 2010 got his first ever Ferrari win in Bahrain. So.
Nice Ferrari facts.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, you definitely do have the fun facts today, Chiz.
I can't use
Dang
them
it.
before the end of the race. I'm gonna have to save them a little bit more now.
Gonna save a few.
I only have
well,
three
this.
left.
I mean, I don't know if we've already talked about this, but this track was built in 2004, and since I don't think it's missed a single year, and it's gonna be
No.
on the calendar until 2036.
That's another fun fact that I'm gonna use up. It is on. I actually wrote I wrote a bit too much about this actually, but I did some research and everything. So yeah, obviously it's still 2036. Max would be 39. Max Verstappen would be 39 when it comes off the calendar, or that it needs its next renewal. 39.
Well,
That's 2 years older than Lewis Hamilton is currently. And think about how
And
old
what's funny
Lewis
is Max will probably be signing a contract that will last until 2036 at this rate anyway.
maybe,
so
maybe.
it's Red Bull. I don't think he's ever gonna leave.
Vamos,
So
AJ says
funny.
Abraham. Something in Spanish.
Say that one more time.
Let's do that. Abraham in the chat says Vamos, something about Augustin. Pick up Augustin.
Yes.
People repping McLaren.
He's looking good, man.
He is, to be fair. He had a good qualifying P5 and has gained a position since.
He needs to pick up the pace and start getting some pressure on Zerke. I know he's thinking to himself, "Hey, I got 17 laps to go. No reason to go crazy." I disagree. There's always reason to go crazy. Go start sending it, man. Yeah, we need to be able to start sending it. I mean, Tomas Suv's down in 12th. Looks like he's got a chance to send it coming up pretty soon. But he's pretty far down the grid, so he's just trying to send it to get up into the points.
Robbie Van in P8 having a good race so far, having a little bit of a battle with E2. Maybe this medium starting to drop off. Is defending P8 for the moment. Something we should probably talk about is last race, because I forgot to cover it in qualifying. But Ruben dominated after the first pit stops. Ruben now is in P6, so not having the same luck, but that's really good, because, sorry, that's not good for him, but obviously it's good for the season as a whole. It's showing that these guys are a lot closer, and we can get people dominating at different tracks. Snakes obviously had the collision on the last lap with Killed, but did manage to recover to P2. So managed to stay in P2, which is where he is at the moment. So consistency there. Silver Arrow and Luca, those guys had a really clean race. P3 and 4 for the Alpines respectively, and Killed finished P6 after the collision. So other things to talk about, we had a bit of desync. Khan obviously not able to race last week. He was looking really confident. He was also looking forward to this race, but then unfortunately is not able to attend today due to work. But yeah, Snakes, Ruben and Killed were the first three in quali last week. Only one of them is in the top 3 this week, which is Snakes, who was P2. Takes a little rundown.
So I mean, at this rate, it looks like we're going to have a new race winner. Either it's going to be, it could be Mike's, it could be Snakes, could be Zerke, it could be Augustin. He could come up out of nowhere. But yeah, right now Mike's is 7.5 seconds now. Oh my gosh! So
I think
that the pace of those mediums are giving him about a half a second every single lap.
I might be wrong, but I think Mike's had a collision last week with a driver. That's why he wasn't there. I don't think he did too well in quali either. But I speak English. If I speak English, it's more easy for you to learn my comments. It is. Thank you, Abraham. But yeah, Mike's wasn't really there last week, but I think he DNF'd. I can actually get a look at the standings. It's now I'm curious. It's not actually on there. Okay, that's not very helpful. Oh no, yeah, he is. So no, he did finish. He finished the race. One more up in 7th place. I literally have that written down. Sorry, my mistake.
Cheers! Now you have too many notes, but you can't even find them.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 3 pages right in front of me of notes right now. I am trying my best.
Nah, Chiz, you have seriously. I love the level of preparation that you've been bringing to these races too, man. You've been absolutely killing it. And thank you everybody in the chat for watching here today. Thank you so much for spending your time on your Thursday evening with us here at PSGL. And also, this might be a good time since we got a little bit of downtime to continue to thank our sponsors here at PSGL. They just keep giving us lots of love, and so we got to give them that love back. And remember, don't make that sponsorship go to waste, everybody. Use your discount codes if you're ever looking for new cockpits.
GTOMega.co.uk, I believe the website is, and you can use the code PSGL for 5% off at checkout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are watching on Sky Sports, please be sure to press your big red button to watch live replays of the race as we go.
You're a PSGL's Q or glass customer. Sorry.
That's funny.
What else?
We have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, we do. 2022. What was the race in that like? It was Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton after a Red Bull double DNF, and What a fool we were to think that Ferrari would be back. What
Oh,
fools
yes.
we were. Goodness me.
That was silly of us. Oh well.
Uh,
Well, hey, right now, we do have a constructor that's starting to come out, to kind of start challenging up at the top three. As of right now, AlphaTauri constructor-wise, if they were to finish in this exact spot right now, Kild is still sitting in 10th, if I recall correctly. And Mike's is,
ninth.
Kild is in 9th now?
Yeah.
Sorry, so Kild would be getting 2 points. Mike's would be getting 18 points. They would get home, or 16 points. They would bring home an 18-point haul, which would put them, up in the mix for the top guys. So if they can continue this form and Mike's can bring them a dub.
Drop you. Mike's in the pits now.
Ooh, there it is.
Mediums.
I knew it was going to happen eventually. So he got to lap 14. I was saying 13 if he wasn't trying to conserve. So that's about right, Lap 15, that's perfect timing for him. He would easily be able to take these hards to the very end.
Yeah.
He did extend those mediums pretty well.
But you know
to
what
get those all the way to lap 15.
The hard guys are
good.
also going to be stopping in the next couple laps, so those mediums can have a big advantage.
Yes.
Mike's needs a good out up here. He's not got traffic. I think that's going to be key, but Noah might be able to overtake him. And you know what? I think he will, because those hards are not looking like they have too much grip.
Yeah.
And
They're
Noah's gonna have
super
the
cool.
DRS. But luckily for Mike's, because he can't lose too much time now. It's imperative. He doesn't have too much since he does go wide. Noah's going to be challenging him. But I think Noah's constantly sat behind there. We'll keep an eye on Mike's just for this lap. Because
I mean, think about it this way: when you're coming out of the pits on those ice cold tires here in F122, you have to really, really nail it on this out lap. And this is where the most common mistakes happen. It's this lock up into turn 10. Will he keep it dialed? He did. He kept it totally gripped up. That's exactly what he needs to just hold this lead. If he didn't do that, I think he'd be under.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Sorry. Yeah, it's good enough at the moment to stay ahead of Noah. So this plan working out, and we'll keep an eye on Snakes actually, because I think Snakes is going to be in this lap. I seem to have used the DRS probably on a push lap.
I don't think he's going in this lap. I think he's going to give it
this on next for sure. He is in this.
It
lap.
is this. Wow, the psychic chiz. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's Augustin gets a 5 seconds for speed in the pit lane. The Augustin fan in the comments is not going to be very happy.
No, he will not.
Next, into the pit stop. Nice clean stop. I don't think we'll see any pit stops longer than like
very fast
5 or whatever. The threshold is.
Mike
does take
rapid.
Provisional lead again. What's the gap going to be? Because how much did those hards cost him? Because he's now going to have to stay over the rest of the race. But you know what? I think he's done pretty well here, to be honest. I mean, he's got the leader, so you can see. But I think if there's a safety car, he's not going to be very happy. But if there isn't, he's got a decent gap. I mean, what is it now? 15. It's 7 seconds at the moment. But obviously, these guys still need to have an out lap. They won't lose as much time as they are going to be on cold mediums, which will warm up much faster than those hards.
So we can confidently say it's give or take about an 8-second gap, or about a 9-second gap at this point now. 9 seconds. Oh gosh, it's getting bigger. 9 seconds to make up over a span of 13 laps. That is a task for anybody. I mean, sure, it's a tire disadvantage significantly for Mike's.
And sorry, not Matty. Mike's did it. Mike's did it in the first stint.
That's true.
Yeah, don't discount anyone.
That's a good point.
However, Mike's had clean air. Snakes is going to have to defend from those guys behind him. Zerky is one of those guys who's going to be boxing. I don't know if staying out that long was a good idea, because now he might lose the place to Augustin. And
he had to, because his teammate went in. He couldn't have gotten double stacked.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not going to be optimal for him if he's lost time because of the undercut. Augustin wants to come out definitely ahead so he can challenge. Keep an eye as he goes on board. And mind you, Aston Martin may have done this perfect, although those mediums are going to be cold and Augustin's going to DRS. Augustin really needs to get ahead as quick as he can if he wants to have any chance. And he's already got the DRS in. He's already got the traction. He's got the DRS open. Aggressive defense.
Oh, look at that defense.
That's what we like to see, though. We like to see this type of racing. Augustin trying to go down the outside, and he gets forced wide off the track. He's going to lose a bit of time there, and now they're going to be going 3 wide into the S section. McLaren has to back out. Sorry, and the Red Bull does make contact and spins around.
Oh no!
Oh no! Ruben, the race winner last weekend, dominated.
Wow.
But you know what this is good for? This is good for Snakes, who has already got a little bit of a gap. That's exactly what Snakes needs. I
That
think
was
Zerky is really holding him up now.
that was a
Um,
mistake from Ruben. He should not have stuck his nose up in there.
I mean,
That was a moment for you to just be a little bit more patient. But he was looking, he was thinking like, oh, hey, this is a moment. These guys are battling hard enough. I can get in there. But that was just a little bit too aggressive.
yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. In all honesty, I didn't get the best view of it. But Augustin needs to get on the attack, and he needs to get on the attack quickly. I think they've already closed so much to Mike's.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah, Augustin needs to catch up as much as he can.
So
But yeah, this
what is the gap
time to push.
between him and Mike's right now to the top? It's like what, 6 seconds, 7
Take a look.
seconds?
It is. Well, Snakes gets past Bologna Sandwich, and Augustin
There
gets
goes
past
Augustin.
Turkey. This is important. This is now what Augustin needs to use to get ahead, or to catch up to Snakes and Challenge. But the gap is 6.6 already. We'll keep it on
Wow.
just for the time being, just so we can see that gap and monitor that. But Augustin needs to get. He's going to be pushing like mad. He's going to be abusing his ERS to try and catch up to that DRS, because that's what he needs. If he wants to have any chance I got a podium. I think Matty's spun around in the first sector again. But he is back going again. Augustin is the one we need to look at now, because he's going to be pushing like mad. But Rish Rathi, I'll tell you that, he's not going to be helping Snakes, because he's going to be giving him DRS. Going exceptional on those mediums, although maybe it'll be bad, because maybe that would cost Snakes time. We'll see. Hopefully for Mike's it does, hopefully not for Snakes. Yeah, both Red Bulls
Yeah, I
now
do want to
P12
point
and
out
P13.
what was that gap as soon as they first came out of the pits? It was like 9 seconds between Mike's and
About
Snakes, and now it's
8,
at a
9 seconds.
6.
Yeah, but Snakes is getting past. Oh, sending it around the outside. Is going to get the position there. Yeah, he's already ahead with the purple middle sector. He is flying.
That was a very brave move. So Snakes, who qualified in P2, is now trying to turn that qualified P2 into a P1 finish. He's got a few laps to get it done, but I think at this pace, he's going to get it done.
We'll see. We're going to have a duel in the desert in these last few laps if it keeps going this way, which is exactly what we want. A duel that Augustin's going to want to have is with Rish Rathi, but he's not catching up too much. At the moment, with a gap of 1.8, he needs to get into DRS, because if Rish can stay in the DRS of Snakes and then give Augustin DRS, that's going to give Augustin a really good chance to catch up and get into P2, which part of me really wants Mike's to win. I feel like he's such an underdog, but Snakes, I spoke to last week, Snakes is such a nice guy. In the interviews, he seemed so chill about it. Obviously, no bias here, but he's already gained 3/10 in the first sector, so the catch-up is on for Snakes, and he is getting a move on. Rish Rathi just falling out of DRS this time round. Augustin needing the DRS, also failing this time round, but there is still time, and anything can happen.
Yeah, I know the Augustin fans in the chat are just going to be wanting him to channel some extra speed and really unlock that and get him a little farther ahead, but I don't know if he's got that pace in him. Right now, he's with 8 seconds of penalty.
If he can catch... Oh, yeah, he does as well. So does Snakes. That is a very good point to make, actually.
Oh.
So does Snakes.
Snakes has 3?
Yep, 3 seconds. Augustin has 8 seconds. So McLaren maybe once again having to go win this here. Keep on penalties for the race, actually, just so we can see. Augustin, though, 1.5. He's not catching up to Rish. I wonder when Rish is going to be in. Maybe he's hoping for a late safety car. Maybe he's going to go into the soft. Well, he's definitely going to go into the softs at the end. But maybe he's just hoping for a late safety car. Those tyres must be horrible. But yeah, doing a really good job there to still keep Augustin out of DRS. 5.7 is the gap currently to Mike's and Snakes. Mike's, we'll have a look at him in just a second, actually, because he's chilling. He's chilling. Does he need to get a move on? I mean, the thing is, not only does Snakes have to catch up, 5.6 seconds, he's got to overtake and he's got to make 3 seconds. And I don't think it's very likely. I honestly really don't. But I think we've seen more astounding things happen.
That we have. I mean, we never know. There could be a big off from Mike's. There could be something that goes totally wrong. He could, be going a little bit too hard on those hard tires and come around turn 12 and get a little bit of loss of grip and make a big spin. It happens to the best of us.
You have spinning curve at turn 12. That used to be horrible to spin at. Not so much now.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
Oh, that is a killer. I hate it so much. Augustin is one to note as he's just going around that curb. He is now within the DRS, and I think he's getting held up quite a bit, but I think he's gonna try and get the DRS. Maybe not. No, he's gonna go for
This is the moment. He's got to go for it.
He could send it into 14. Sorry, into 14, and then just get the DRS, which I think he's just done perfectly. He's got to use this as a slingshot now to catch up as much as he can.
Yep, he's got DRS. There he goes.
Yeah, Rish is going to be a sitting duck on this straight to Zerky and probably Luca as well.
Yeah.
As they are
Rish needs to go in pit.
They are looking nearly going 3 wide, but not quite. Luca Monaco getting past. Oh, as I think Zerky went a little bit wide. Oh, sorry, I don't know what that was. Zerky going a little bit wide. He's going to be under pressure now from Luca. Luca getting the better exit. Slingshotting his way past Zerky. That's not going to get the Aston Martin guys, but he's still there side by side. They do make contact.
Yeah.
So that is Silver Arrow is also fighting with the Rush Ralphing. Gets forced off as well. That's going to not do him any good. Important to note.
I think the.
What was his yellow flag except for one? That's Noah Stunner.
I think Zerky turned in a little bit too hard. On Luca, it looked like, you know, Luca just lost all the room that he was entitled to. I think that's why he got clipped on, because I think Zerky just turned a little bit too hard and tried to close him in and make, you know, Luca take too compromised of a tight line, and that just, I don't know if that was fair racing, but at the same time, that's going to go to the stewards at the end of the day.
That's true. Both the Alpines, they were together last week, and they're together again, this time in P5 and 6. That will be P4 and 5 after penalties, and if Augustine can catch up, drag those guys to DRS. I mean, he is already closed in a little bit, just a tenth or two. We'll watch Mike Cam as requested by someone in the chat. But yeah, at the moment, Mike's is leading 5 seconds. Snake's 2 laps ago, I think it was 5 seconds. Sorry, 6 seconds. 2 laps, and he's closed in 1 second. This is gonna be chaotic at the end. I think we should just ignore penalties and act like it's for position.
Yeah, exactly. That's way more fun anyway, honestly.
Yeah, it's way more fun. But
I mean, at this point, look at the pace. I mean, like, Snakes is definitely catching up significantly. That's 3 seconds now is what I can see. Again, slightly slower resolution. But at the same time, you know, Mike's is holding him off plenty fine. I think Mike's, with just 7 laps to go, is looking very, very, very comfortable for a win here. There's a super, super solid chance for himself. Now a little bit farther down the grid, it's Zerky trying to fight and get up in front of Augustine. Right now, Zerky holding down P2 on penalties, almost certainly because of how many seconds worth of penalties everybody has. But I think he needs to get in front of Augustine to make sure that's for sure, because he might be just far enough away from Snakes to the point that he won't have P2, and Snakes will still be able to hold that down. A little bit farther down the grid, I do want to pay attention to Killed. He actually did just make up 1 more position, so now he's sitting in 8th. He's fighting it really hard with Lapanainen. So that's something that we can't quite see right now, since Chiz has had to depart, and I don't have control of camera, but that's important to pay attention to. You know, Killed, Mike's teammate, they need to have the best result they possibly can to put them in the fight against the Aston Martins for the championship. The Aston Martins and the Alpines. Both sitting in 5th and 6th. We do have a penalty right there for Toril. Was that Tomat, maybe? I think it was Tomat Suvs who had the penalty. So now he's got 3 seconds. That's going to not be good for the Haas, but he's already down in 14th, way out of the points, so it's not like it's going to make too much of a difference. Did you say you're back?
Yep, I'm back.
Hello, Shizerp.
Hello. A little bit of battling. P7 at the moment. E2 and Rish fighting. Rish not having the best of days on those old hard tyres. I'm very surprised he hasn't pitted. He needs another safety car.
He's going for the softs. That's what he was doing.
For sure.
Guarantee you.
But I don't think it's going to work out.
I think he needed to do the softs like 2 laps ago. He could have made the softs go 10 laps.
He should have done the safety car. So he needs a safety car, I think, if he wants to make that strategy work at all, in all honesty.
Yep.
But you know, fair enough. If you don't try, you don't score. So
that's true.
Definitely
going for an aggressive strat.
He knows that he's way down in the points. I mean, it's worth going. You see the brace on those tyres.
Ooh, a little
wide.
A little deep right there for Rish.
I want to watch him because I hope he gets a puncture in all. No, that sounds so malicious. I mean, I think it looks really cool. I'm sure he's.
Wow,
very
you
enjoying
hope he
that
gets
now.
a puncture. I'm gonna send a message to Rich in chat after this race and
No,
say, "Hey,
Rich was
well,
actually really nice, and he
I'm gonna
messaged
say,
me
hey,
after the
Rich, you
stream.
got an enemy in the commentator box, man. I'm so
Rich
sorry,
was the
but
one
I don't know what
after
you
the stream
did.
who messaged me complimenting me. I'm just
Well,
saying
he's
that he'd be
definitely
a great thing, and he is gonna
he's
put into
definitely
the top six
messaging you
now.
this race, that's for sure. He's hearing you talking right now. He says, "No, I'm not
I'll
gonna
do
give
it.
him a puncture.
I'll do
I'm
it.
gonna get in there and put those softs on. Those red tires are gonna complement the Alfa Romeo red."
I'm just saying because it's entertaining. Take one for the team.
Entertaining at the expense of your friend.
Yep.
Wow.
Important to note,
You're like,
2
yes,
laps
that's
later,
true.
he has Snakes has gained another second. Well, 9/10, which is basically a second on Mike's. So it is a second. He's doing exactly what he needs to. As it's now 3.8.
I don't know. It feels like it's a little too late.
I think it is actually.
You know?
In all honesty, but Rish putting it at fastest lap, so then pitting. But so yeah, no. Snakes in P2. I don't think he's close enough. I mean, he's got to by lap 28 be in the DRS pretty much. So he's got 4 laps to close 3 seconds. He's got to start putting out all the stops. In all honesty, Mike's is also packed full of ERS. That's probably why he's been catching up a lot, I guess, using the ERS. But yeah, no. Oh my god, I'm doing the thing where I say "but" a lot. Oh dear. I noticed
That's
that
the best of
last
us.
race. Yeah. No one's really doing anything interesting at the moment, so I think that means it's time for some more fun facts. We'll talk about Rish in the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo used to be called Sauber. In 2008, Robert Kubica got pole position in Bahrain in the Sauber, and that is to this date Sauber's only pole position, although Sauber are Alfa Romeo, so I guess they got pole position back in like the 50s, so I mean, I don't actually know how accurate that is. But nonetheless, it's a fun fact. Did you also know, after the 2007 Bahrain Grand Prix, Alonso, Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton were tied on points at the top, and that was the first time that happened since 1950 after the Indy 500.
Wow.
Was that the Indy 500? I'm not sure. I might have got that wrong. But yeah.
Well, the Indy 500, Indianapolis used to be an F track.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, good point. Another thing to note, Mike's, is he getting a bit helped here by stats? Because did you know, 8 out of 19, actually, I guess he wouldn't be, but 8 out of 19 drivers in the real life Grand Prix started from pole position and won the race. Only 8 out of 19.
Wow.
The furthest back starter to win was Checo, who started P5 in 2020. Augustin finished P5 in quali this time round. He's sitting in P3. I'm sure he's happy, but he's not going to finish P3 due to penalties, which
Nowhere near.
it makes me so sad, in all honesty. But
yeah,
that for Aston Martin.
5-second penalty especially is tough. He might be able to get that 3-second penalty removed because it was a push wide from another driver, like a significantly pushed wide. So he may be able to get 3 seconds out, but those 5 seconds are going to stay. And even then, 5 seconds, taken out of that race time, that's going to put him all the way back to barely even in the points.
Yeah, I mean, he needs... I don't know. He doesn't want a safety car. He just needs everyone else to slow down a lot. But, yeah. Or he needs
That's not going to happen.
yeah, I was going to say. It's very competitive. I doubt that's going to happen. The gap is 3.2. He can see him now. Mike's is in the sights. There's 3 laps left. I don't think it's enough. I don't think he's going to get into DRS. Those mediums are just wearing out now, and they're not having the same effect that they did 10 laps ago.
I think, honestly, not even just a matter of the mediums, degrading. I think just Mike's in and of itself was just the better driver of the day so far. He's just been able to take the exact same scenario and do more with it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what matters. He's looking so clean.
I mean,
I think this is...
We said earlier on, why did Robbie and Mike's do the hards to mediums? Sorry, mediums to hards even. Clearly that's worked out. Robbie's gained 4 positions, is now sitting in the points, and Mike's is dominated. He's led not every single lap, obviously, because he pitted, but provisionally every single lap.
Yeah, he's been on fire.
Yeah. Also interesting to note, literally half the entire grid have penalties, which you...
Wow.
Oh, Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
10 of the drivers have penalties right now? Or sorry, 9 of them? Oh my gosh.
I didn't actually count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, pretty much half.
Wow. Well, this track is pretty notorious for getting you out on track limits, and it looks like a majority of them are track limit penalties. So, excluding, I want to say, Augustine's the only one that does not have a track limit penalty. He has a track limit penalty and a speeding in the pits penalty. So, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's very easy to speed in the pits when you don't have a racing line, though. You know?
Yeah, I mean...
You don't know when to brake. It's a tough spot to find your braking spot.
It's a massive kudos to these guys. I think that's the right word. That these guys are able to drive without racing line, so... Yeah, it's fair enough that the mistakes are made every so often. Or, I mean, maybe something happened. Maybe there's a collision we didn't actually see. There's always reasons, but I think he had snakes right in front of him, so he just maybe couldn't see his braking point as well as he would have liked. Hang on.
That's a good point.
Mike's has gained half a second on snakes now. Wow. Mike's, I can see, is using ERS. This hard's really come into play, and I think that's just about sealed the victory.
Yeah. I mean, what, 2 laps left to go? There's no way. Look at that. We got a fastest lap right there.
Wow. Yeah.
Was that Mike's that just said fastest lap?
That was Mike's who just said fastest lap.
On the hards that are old.
It was like 11, 12 lap old hards. And he's just...
who's on the softs right now? Rishi, and he's nowhere near. Wow.
Yeah, his fast lap is 31.2. 30.5 is what Mike's at. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
13 lap old hards, and he's managed to do that.
So, like I said, Mike's is just well deserving of this place. It's not even a matter of just pure strategy. Yeah, the strategy helped him out, but he's just deserving of that spot. That's incredible.
Wow.
So are we seeing a potentially new dominant driver?
Are we seeing? I mean, it was
season?
the AlphaTauri of Rashan last season. Is it going to be the AlphaTauri of Mike's this season?
They do seem to always get good driver picks, huh? What do you think it is with AlphaTauri? Do you think it's because of the good clothes that they give away as a benefit?
For sure. I do like the AlphaTauri clothes. I don't know
make
any.
really nice, but they do make really nice clothes. Actually, really nice.
Very expensive.
Yes.
Mike's is on the penultimate lap. He's about to start the final lap, or is penultimate final? I honestly can't remember.
Not penultimate is the second to last. You were correct.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. I think I had that exact same thought last week, and I took about a good few minutes thinking about it. He is going to be starting the final lap, so I think we owe it to him to watch. Although, yes. I do kind of see Luca challenging Zerky for P4, so I'm going to cut to him.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, Luca actually has a shot at this, too. Let's see what Luca can do.
He's got 2 DRS zones, no more ERS. We'll go on board with him because he needs a stunning exit. Getting the car rotated nicely. I don't think he's close enough. I really don't.
Nope.
5/10.
Too far.
Unless he goes for some kamikaze.
You need to be within about 3/10 before you start turn 3 to be able to confidently make that overtake into turn 4. Otherwise, it's almost impossible. Now here, his last chance right here is going to be after turn 10. If we see Zerky make a mistake going down the hill into turn 10, then there's a chance for Luca. But without that, I think that the chance is all but gone for Luca.
It's not over yet, though. He does still have the DRS. He does still have that corner. No mistakes that I can see. A slight lock-up from Luca, but yeah, that's going to be unfortunate. He's not going to get the position. Luca and Silvaro, this time last week, Silvaro was ahead of Luca, getting P3. Well, P4 and then P3. But yeah, not that way this time round. But this time we will cut to Mike's. Mike's has absolutely dominated since the first stint, and he's managed to maintain a gap that was 9 seconds, is now 4.2. It was 3, now it's 4.2. He's built up the gap again. He's stunning today, and he's going to come around the final corner, open the DRS, across the line, and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. PSGL F6 round 2 goes to Mike's in the AlphaTauri. Sorry, I got my commentary a little bit fumbled there. Zerky does bring it home in P2. Snakes by 0.02 of a second is in P3. Zerky not wanting to back off there. But nonetheless, Aston Martin looking really good. And then it's the Alpines. Luca and Silver Arrow finishing P4 and 5. E2 P6. Augustine, after 8 seconds of penalties, who looked like he could get P3, P2 even, is now in P7. Killed, who got P6 last week, P3 after a penalty this week, only managing P8. Robbie Van after a stunning drive as well. finishing P9, and Matty with a good recovery since he was in last place not too long ago after a spin. Matty is in P10.
Yeah, I'd say Matty
Wow.
on great recovery.
Yeah, a bit disappointed we didn't get any Jewel of the Desert, but nonetheless, it was a
No,
very entertaining race. You can't
It
complain.
definitely was. Yeah, it definitely was. I will say, this guy Mike's right here is somebody that we need to take an eye on and really watch out for the rest of the season, because that was thoroughly dominant. I mean, the fact that he set the fastest lap on the second to last lap on super old hards is something to really take note of. That's a guy that's got some serious special pace.
I have to agree. You can't fault his performance today. There is your
No,
podium.
perfect.
Mike's. I think he's my driver of the day. In all honesty, he's honestly that was absolutely stunning.
Yep, I agree. He got the strategy right. He got his pace right. He did everything exactly
That's
right.
funny.
That's a deserved driver of the day.
It's two Jana Watmirs in P2 and 3, both in Aston Martin.
Mm.
Avatars are both. Sorry, I'm focusing on the wrong things.
Oh, that's funny. You're right. They were actually, weren't they?
Yeah, there is your final order. I'll quickly run through that in case you guys want to get a screenshot or anything. There you go, and I'll go through the race director, as I always do. Apart from last week when I forgot, but doesn't matter. There is all of your data. We'll go back onto the face cam screen. That was honestly a crazy race. I am amazed with how that went. It was very enjoyable. I can't complain at all. I really can't.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty stoked for Mike's. I think he's somebody that we need to really pay attention to. The qualifying order almost set the finishing order almost perfectly too. So that's something very surprising, even after all the strategies and the good amounts of battles. But Killed, I know he's going to be pretty pissed with the way that race worked out as compared to last week. He's got a lot of work to do to improve upon for next week. So I wonder what Killed will be able to do to change up that bad stroke of luck today.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have some words as those guys hop into the interview box now. We will try and do it in order. Just waiting for those guys to join. I know Zerky is there at the moment, but yeah, we'll try and just get Snakes in there first if we can.
Yep.
But it was honestly a stunning race. I mean, getting fastest lap on 13 lap old hards, you can't fault his pace. I mean, I can see the other drivers complimenting him as well, in the chat, and it's fully deserved. And honestly, there's nothing I can complain.
That was insane, absolutely insane.
Augustin is saying he had the pace, but was nervous on that braking entry. And thought he was going to crash, and he ended up locking up, which made him go fast. So, yeah, and by the looks of things, I don't know. This game is just very bugged.
Yeah, that lockup is basically what cost him his place.
Yep.
I don't know if we're gonna get our thing in order. I don't see.
I don't think we are.
Here,
we'll start with Mike's, and we'll go 1, 2, 3 if we can.
Yes.
Nearly dragged him into the wrong box. There we go. Mike's, congratulations. Mike's. That pace was absolutely mega from start to finish. Getting fast slap on those extremely old hards, that was just crazy. How was that from your perspective?
Great race. I mean, I took a gamble on the start. I didn't expect the pole from the beginning, so I just wanted to start on hards and stay in train and see what's gonna happen. But I thought when I started first, go on medium, try to pull away from a train, and just show the pace, and luckily that paid off. Of course, the start wasn't pretty good. I was almost overtaken by the Aston Martin, I think. Yeah. But overall, great pace, very, very good. Second race in the International League, first win, also first interview in foreign language. So,
wow.
Yeah, you're doing great. I'll tell you that.
Huge experience.
Hey, Mike's, I will say, treat this as first of many, because your pace today was ridiculous, my friend. Absolutely insane. Like, I was just, I honestly thought, if I'm being super honest with you, I thought, oh no, where he's pitting, yeah, he only has like a 7-second gap, but I don't think that that's going to last for very long because these fresher hards, like these guys are going to be able to start flying on the new mediums. But you proved that all entirely wrong, especially by setting that fastest lap on the second to last lap. Man, you were dominant from start to finish. So I'd say give yourself a lot of credit for today. That was a very, very well deserved race. You did everything right.
Yeah, I just don't know what to say. Thank you very much. It was also pretty important to get out of the pits ahead of a train on hard.
Yes.
And it was pretty close. So
It
yeah,
was really close,
I
just a couple tenths.
Yes, and also I think I braked a little bit too early to the pits. Like I lost half a second maybe. But yeah, I tried to push as much as I could on the end of this medium stint, and then just save the battery, save the tires, and try to one shot for the fastest lap. So it also happened. So like 10 out of 10 race.
Yeah, you did absolutely everything right. Yeah, so with that extra fastest lap point, you just got 17 points in the championship. That is going to really be a nice haul after last week. So that's going to be putting you up in contention for the top. Are you hoping that next week next week we are going to, if I recall correctly, it's Netherlands. Is that another track that you're pretty strong at?
I don't know. I don't like to judge my pace by just my own. Just let's see what's gonna happen. Of course, I will try my best, and I know that I have the pace. I can win races, so just need to focus on it and give it all next week.
Yes. Well, we're excited to see you do that next week. You are, I want to say right now, sitting in P2 in the championship after your fastest lap and your win today. So, congratulations! Your next rival just ahead of you is Snakes F1, sitting in first place by only 1 point. So next week we're excited to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
very
thank
much.
you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, and hopefully here. Let's hear.
Yeah,
next
hopefully.
Week.
Yeah.
It is Zambor next week. A driver from the Netherlands is Snakes. We'll drag both the Aston Martins in now as the team.
Let's do it.
Hey.
Hello, team.
Hello.
Guys, wow, what a team finish. Congratulations. 2 weeks in a row. Great team finish.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also, it's nice to meet you guys, Snakes and Zerky.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Yes.
Snakes,
Sorry I missed
it's
last
not-
week, but I'm glad.
It's
It
nice.
looks like I didn't miss too much because it's another Aston Martin destruction.
It's nice to see you're not muted this time, Snakes. Last week for like the full first minute of the interview.
That's funny.
I was
That's the best of us.
Yeah, that is two P2s. That is a P2 and a P3, 2 podiums in a row. You must be feeling really confident for the season, and obviously as a team. But yeah, talk me.
Yeah.
We'll start with Zerky. You got P2. We'll talk through that race from your perspective.
I was kind of lacking pace, I think, compared to Olaf Snakes, but I managed to second the DRS. I went one lap longer on the hards, and then I lost DRS because I had a battle with Augustin and Ruben, and then I was just following Augustin the rest of the race. And he had a penalty, so I decided to stay behind and just stay ahead of Luca.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, a confident qualifying, getting P3 there as well. Obviously a little bit unlucky in that first stint to drop to what was it, P4, P5? But that wasn't. Yeah, no. Yeah, so no, yeah. But yeah, no, you were able to bring it back. So yeah, congratulations. But were you worried at all about the lack of pace, maybe, in terms of getting the podium?
Yeah, this track isn't really for me, I think. Yeah, I'm happy with P2.
Yeah, that's fair.
My
fair enough. Very
was
good job.
really fast, so.
Well, I do want to let you guys both know. So where you guys sit in the championship now, assuming no stewards inquiries, Snakes, you're sitting in the lead of the championship after Ruben had an absolute howler of a race. You're sitting in the lead by 1 point over Mike's, and Zerky, you're sitting in third by 2 points behind Mike's. So,
Great.
that being said, you guys sitting in first and third, destroying the Constructors' Championship, heading into Netherlands. Are you guys nervous? Are you guys excited? Do you think you're going to be able to extend it next week?
I think Stanford is a track I like. I always like to drive
That's
there.
your home
So
track, isn't it, as well?
yeah, of course. Home
You're
track.
Dutch.
So yes, I am.
Oh, nice.
Great country in my books. But yeah, I haven't really driven Stanford a lot on this game so far, but I always seem to feel confident there. So
Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
let's hope,
yeah.
let's hope it does translate into a good race result for you because, like I said, sitting in the lead of the championship, but it's only by a single point. So it's still anyone's game, and I'm excited to see how you go and fight it off. That 3 second time penalty that you got, was it just a basic track limits penalty, or what happened?
Yeah, just all the 3 warnings are just stupid. Just yeah. But
Just honestly,
yeah,
just silly mistakes.
yeah, silly mistakes. I got 1 warning in the first step, I think. So that wasn't ideal. And then yeah, just silly mistakes. Yeah,
Hmm.
can
Do you
happen.
find yourself consistently or like as that's one of your weak points of your driving, or is that something that you're usually pretty strong at, not getting penalties?
It's different per track. Sometimes like I don't get any warnings. Sometimes some silly mistakes. Like yeah, it's
Mhm.
easy to just run right just a bit too much at Bahrain. So
Yeah.
I think yeah, for Zandvoort it's gonna be harder to get a penalty, of course.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I'm excited for next week. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
worries.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See you
See you next week.
hopefully.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you.
Well, Chizerp, that was a great race, man. Thanks for always being the best co-commentator of all time, and,
Oh, you too.
and I'm
You
excited for
too.
next week, man.
Yeah, me too. You're not going to be here though because it's Thanksgiving, so
Exactly. Yeah, it is
I
American
have to take
Thanksgiving. I'll
example
be
of myself.
watching.
You'll be
Yep,
watching.
I'll be watching. Yes, and I'll be cheering you
Congrats.
and all the drivers on.
Thank you.
But until next week, let's say big thank you again to our sponsor, GT Omega. Seriously, thank you so much for everything you do for us at PSGL. And to everybody that watches and enjoys these races, thank you so much for spending your evenings with us on Thursday evenings. Cannot wait to see you again next week.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
We'll see you in the Netherlands.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega, proudly supporting PSGL.